Good morning, my friends. It's a beautiful May morning here in Southern California. My name is Lama Jigme Gyatso, and this is Enlightened Fitness, where first we're going to cultivate the body of a tantric sex god through the cunning use of high-intensity body weight interval training, and number two, we're going to cultivate both the heart and the mind of a Buddha through guided meditation. So, one of the things I'm going to draw your attention to is the place just below this video. About 3 inches below the video, there's a little button that reads, Show More. Ah, the sound of the rice cooker. Okay, already. Thank you. And when you click that button, it'll reveal a list of links as long as my arm. If I remember correctly, many of those links will take you to my website entitled lamajigme.com. The tab on the furthest right reads weight loss. When you click that, it shows you the 5 keys to the weight loss I offer, which are intermittent fasting. I'll take that back. Water, intermittent fasting, the low-fat, whole food, plant-based diet, body weight, fitness training, interval training. Combine the two, you get an unbeatable thing. Now there's a video, at least one video for each of these explaining them. For instance, water, that is the ultimate beverage. You don't need alcohol, you don't need soda, water. Water's what you need. Intermittent fasting, it sounds scarier than it is. What you're really saying is there's an eating window every day and a non-eating window every day. As long as your eating window is at least 1 hour less than your non-eating window, it's going to help your body lose weight. For instance, if your eating window is 11 hours and your non-eating window is 13 hours, guess what? That's intermittent fasting. So let me break it down to you. Let me show you how easy this can be. If you eat 2 meals a day, for instance, breakfast and lunch, and then you fast until the next morning, that's intermittent fasting. If you eat just lunch and dinner, and then after dinner you don't consume anything other than water until the next day, that's intermittent fasting. All things being equal, if the amount of exercise, if you have 2 men, and their fitness level is equal, their body fat is equal, they're twins. Okay, everything's equal on them. And they consume the exact foods, the exact number of calories a day. If one eats 6 small meals through the day, and the other limits himself to an eating window of approximately 8 hours or less, lunch and dinner, and then fast the remaining 16 hours of the day, the second one will be more slender, and he'll have a more efficient immune system. He'll get less colds and flus than a 6 meal a day counterpart. I could not make that stuff up. When you explore my website, you'll find links to all sorts of free resources about intermittent fasting, including a hilarious channel on YouTube called The Fasting Twins. Now they're off color. I think they're hilarious. I think they're very, very funny. But so simple. The third thing, we'll talk more about that right now, is the low-fat, whole food, plant-based diet. Arguably, it's the diet we are best suited for to age well, to maintain or improve lucidity, to increase athletic performance, leanness and strength and speed, and all that other kind of good stuff. Besides, it's great for the planet and the animals that would otherwise be tortured and slaughtered will thank you for not participating in their suffering by proxy. One of the things that impresses me about the low-fat, whole-food, plant-based diet is that there's a great number of elite athletes who have embraced it. We're talking about sprint athletes and endurance athletes, strength athletes, and long-distance runners. So the entire spectrum, which is very, very impressive. I'm reminded of Rip Eckelson. I hope everybody pronounced his name correctly. He wrote the book, The Engine Tube Diet, and his next title coming out is My Beef with Meat, which is a fun play on words. He was an elite athlete, world-class triathlete who got bored with that, so he became a fireman. And I've seen film of him wearing over 100 pounds of equipment and doing perfect chin-ups, not piking chin-ups, CrossFitters, real chin-ups with perfect form. Now that's an elite athlete, able to do that on a low-fat, whole-food, plant-based diet, which to me is very impressive. So I mentioned a book. The second link below the video will take you to a bunch of, take you to a page dedicated to the low-fat, whole-food, plant-based diet. And there's a bunch of resources. There's about a half dozen books that I can't give you for free because I don't own the copyright, but I can take you to I can take you to pages where they're offered at a substantial discount, which is quite nice. But there's a lot of free resources, a lot of PDFs, a lot of free YouTube channels. So if you're on a budget, no problem. If it's for free, you can afford it. One of the books I offer on that page is the McDougall Program for Maximum Weight Loss. I'm going to read you a passage from that right now. Last time I read you, we talked about how Edwin Moses, a two-time Olympic gold medalist, both in the '88 games and the '92 games, he began having problems with his weight, even though he trained for hours and hours every day. But those problems were fixed for him and his teammates by switching to this program of low-fat, whole-food, plant-based meals. If it can work for an Olympic athlete, it can probably work for you. There's a myth that if you just work out enough, you can burn off all your food. Well, guess what? Olympic athletes did not find that to be the case until they found this diet. It's so simple, even I can do it. Now, of course, I'm very boring and lazy, so I just use a rice cooker and a crock pot to make one of 3 different bean dishes every day, and I like drinking my vegetables, so I make this delicious salsa out of vegetables, out of green onions, serrano chili, celery, tomatoes, for cilantro. It's wonderful. So it is delicious. So gets all my needs met. So easy. Even a disabled bachelor can do it. And now I shall read to you. Eating fats, but craving carbohydrates. Unknown to virtually all of us, we crave carbohydrates. Even in childhood, the nutrient our bodies need more than any other is carbohydrate. Adults need approximately 35 times more carbohydrates for energy than we need protein for growth, and 800 times more carbohydrates than fat. For example, adult men need about 20 grams of protein per day to maintain healthy cell replacement and repair. They need about 700 grams of carbohydrates per day to meet energy requirements, and they need about 3 grams of fat. Carbohydrates are the most efficient forms of energy that we can consume. Foods that are rich in carbohydrates are vegetables, whole grains, and fruit. Even while you are eating fat and protein, you are craving carbohydrate. If your diet is deficient in carbohydrates, you will have to eat a great deal more food in an attempt to meet your carbohydrate needs. Along with that, a large intake of food will come huge quantities of dietary fat, as long as you're eating the typical American diet. The net effect is that you'll be overweight, still unsatisfied, and still hungry. The McDougall program for maximum weight loss does exactly the opposite of a carbohydrate-deficient diet. It gives you what you need most, carbohydrate, while it minimizes what you need least, fat, causing you to lose weight. Because the carbohydrates come in foods that are whole, such as whole grains and a wide variety of vegetables, the McDougall diet provides both weight loss and health improvement. This is why you can eat all you want on the McDougall program. Why you will feel fully satisfied, nourished, and meanwhile will still lose weight. So, if that's true, Lama Jigme, why do you recommend intermittent fasting? Well, number one, I recommend because there's a difference between losing enough weight to live longer and being trim with your clothes off, and there's another difference between having quote-unquote cut and shredded the way competitive bodybuilders try to get before a competition. If you're as vain as myself and long to look like the Achilles character in the movie Troy, or you'd like to look like the James Bond character in the movie Casino Royale with Daniel Craig, then you'll want to incorporate the intermittent fasting, which is much easier than it sounds. After about a week, you'll get used to it. Actually, closer to 2 or 3 days. The reason I choose to eat lunch and dinner on the intermittent fasting plan is because dinner's a social thing. And while I don't have a tantric partner right now in my life, I'm setting space that when I do, we'll be able to share a low-fat, whole-food, plant-based dinner every night. Color me romantic. So let's continue. These are not unsubstantiated claims, but well-documented facts. The benefits of my program have been scientifically demonstrated. A study of 574 people have attended my live-in program at St. Helena Hospital in Napa Valley, California. Shows that in just 11 days, overweight men weighing more than 200 pounds lose on the average 8.3 pounds. That's almost a pound a day. Overweight women who weigh more than 150 pounds lose on the average 4.4 pounds in those 11 days. The people who follow the program lose between 6 and 15 pounds a month until they approach trim body weight. Most important, these results are attained by eating to full satisfaction of their hunger drive. Everyone is encouraged to return for seconds and thirds if they like. They are cautioned not to remain hungry. By the way, on the topic of intermittent fasting, a profound athlete, what's his name? Man who was famous in the 80s for being both a sprinter and a football player, and now he's an MMA fighter, eats only one meal a day for dinner. I forgot his name, though. What is his name? Oh well, perhaps I'll recall it during the next video. Let's continue. Many of the people who adopt my program, either after reading my books or hearing me speak, do so because it represents a last resort. Most of them are discouraged by repeated failure with countless prior efforts. They are there on bags full of drugs and suffer from a multitude of distresses, dysfunctions, and diseases. They have tried every diet known to the paperback book industry. Weight loss clinics, packaged food programs, doctor-supervised fasts, and all sorts of medication. They spent thousands of dollars with expert advice, and they're still overweight. Because of their progressive downhill course, they believe themselves hopelessly ill and forever overweight. But at this low point, their lives turn around because after all else has failed, they're all ready for a big change. That's when they come to the McDougall program for maximum weight loss. Those of you who believe that yours is the worst case, let me assure you that you have the greatest potential to be a star on the McDougall program for maximum weight loss. Many of the men and women written about in this book also believed that they were beyond hope of controlling their weight. And they adopted the McDougall program and found that it worked for them. The heavier you are right now, the faster you can improve, and you can do it without hunger. Once you decide to correct the cause of your problems, you will begin to recover. Marcy Ann Roth, age 30, of Petaluma, California, is living proof of that. Marcy lost 55 pounds at the rate of about 10 pounds a month on the McDougall program. It continues to experience benefits. She has been with the program for more than 2 years. Some time ago, she described her experience this way. I learned of the McDougall program from a friend at work. The McDougall diet is the healthiest diet. No more eating from the harmful 4 basic food groups. Eat, 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 and still lose the weight. It's incredible, but true. And the results are almost immediate. As she lost weight, Marcy discovered other benefits as well. My cholesterol went from 188 to 131. Also, through the diet and exercise, my body is more toned. I have had to buy a whole new wardrobe. Don't fool yourself, that's a chore. Many women tell me that they don't mind. Marcy had bad experience with many diets. I've tried Weight Watchers, but didn't maintain my weight loss. The disadvantages to this program were being hungry, eating unhealthy food, having to weigh and measure portions, and keep track of it all. I felt okay in Weight Watchers, just hungry, and then I stopped, and the weight came back. Tomorrow, I'll read to you from Dr. McDougall's simple set of rules. But here's basically the essence. Low fat, which means no overt fats, no oils and stuff like that. Whole foods, nothing processed. Plant-based. Ask the cows. They'll tell you, please eat plants instead of us. Okay, well, we've covered water, intermittent fasting, and whole food plant-based diet. Now, let's do the final 2 bits, which is high-intensity body weight exercise done in an interval training paradigm. Interval training is another way to use the term circuit training without breaks. Our task, our goal is to work out so vigorously that within 12 minutes we are out of breath, dripping with sweat. It's not glamorous, but it is effective. As I mentioned, there are links below the video. The first link will take you to the bodyweight circuit training page of my website. On that page, all the Enlightened Fitness videos can be found organized into boxes. There's a box for a 10-minute workout, a box for a 12-minute workout, a box for a 2-minute workout. You get the idea. So choose a workout time that you feel is manageable. Set yourself up for success. Let's continue. Come, let us warm up using Indian-inspired 12-phase sun salutations for 2 repetitions. right. The only equipment we're using this workout is a yoga blanket and chinning straps, which you can order on the website for a nominal price. There's a video on the website that shows you how to use desks and tables to do your pulling exercises on if you don't have the budget to order chin straps or they haven't arrived in the mail yet. So there's no excuse and always a way to do your pulling motions even without equipment. Let's dig in. Start with heel squats. Okay, toe squats, jumping toe squats. Okay, now it's time for hiking presses. Hello, kitty cat. Now it's time for thrusters. Now it's time for chins. Excuse me. Welcome to the second circuit. Heel squat. Toe squat. Hiking press. Thrust. Second set of chins. the third circuit. Heel squat. Toe squat. Third set of toe squats. Third set, a press. Third, thrust. Third, chin. Welcome to the fourth circuit. Fourth, heels. Fourth, toes. Fourth, press. Fourth, thrust. Fourth, chins. Welcome to the 5th and final circuit. Fifth, heels. Fifth, toes. Fifth, press. Fifth, thrust. That was exciting. Fifth, chin. Okay, that concludes high intensity body weight interval training. And as promised, you should be out of breath and drenched in sweat. Whew! Water, beverage of choice. I drink my water from glass vessels. A health mentor once cautioned against plastic. And personally, I find the metal thermoses to leave a bad taste. You can find a swing top glass bottle like this on any website devoted to home brewing. Ironically enough. I'm going to read to you a passage of the English translation of the text written in the 1700s by Jigme, entitled The Quintessence of Spiritual Practice, the Direct Instructions of the Great Compassionate One. Gotama Jigme was one of the first Rime Manipa Tantrikas, people who combined are non-sectarian devotees of the Buddha of compassion. They basically practiced one Buddha, one mantra, and the essence, the essentialized version of all the Buddhist practices. Gotama Jigme even taught us how to keep the vows in a simplified, essentialized way. Allow me to read the translation. Without confessing it, even the tiniest misdeed can become severe. As each day passes, it grows and increases. Just as dirty clothes can be cleansed with water, if you sincerely confess it, there is no misdeed which cannot be purified. The misdeeds done in the past are like having swallowed strong poison. If you feel remorse, they are easily purified. But the arrogance of thinking you can handle it is more difficult to purify. Therefore, resolve firmly to never commit them again. You may think to do misdeeds doesn't matter because you can just confess afterwards, but the Buddha has taught that then they will not be purified. As I've told you in previous videos, our friend Gotama Jigme was significantly more fundamentalist than he was liberal, bless his heart. So the fundamentalists, as you can plainly see from that passage, sure do like fear. Their hopes are that fear can manipulate them to do the right thing. Liberals recognize the danger of fear, that fear breeds resentment. And it's better to do the right thing motivated by love than by motivated from fear. About a century later, the great Saint Gotama Jigme, the great Saint Patul Rinpoche said, when Buddha Chenrezig is a synthesis of all Buddhas, one mantra of the 6 syllables is a synthesis of all mantras, one practice bodhicitta is a synthesis of the generation and of the 2 tantric stages. Well, what is bodhicitta? Conventional bodhicitta is love. Ultimate bodhicitta is letting go. So if we make love and letting go the key to our morality, not only will we do the right thing, but we'll be unencumbered with fear and resentment. Ironically, the more fear and resentment we have, the more our pride grows, and the more difficult it is for us to admit we've done anything wrong ever. I'm not sure if you're as old as me, but I remember watching Happy Days, and Fonz could never admit he did anything wrong. He couldn't even say the word wrong. He'd get stuck on the word halfway through the word. And that's really, really cute in a 1970s sitcom, but in real life, that's tragic. If we do not learn from our errors, we are doomed to repeat them. And the effort of ignoring our errors will only feed our fear and aggression and pride. And those are energies that we can do without. So let's exercise the courage and the vulnerability to be open to the possibility that there's always room for improvement in our choices, our communications, and our behaviors. our last video, we did a guided meditation that was 24 minutes long. Today's video, I intend to lead you through a guided meditation that's approximately 27 minutes long. Now, remember I told you about that first link below the video? How it would take you to a page where all the Enlightened videos were organized in boxes by length of video? And there was a 10-minute box, a 3-minute box, a 6-minute box, a 9-minute box, and so forth and so on. Well, within each of those boxes, the individual Enlightened Fitness videos were organized by length of guided meditation. So if this is your first time watching my talking head, then by all means, stop this video, use the links, find a video that's only a guided meditation that's only 1 to 3 minutes long. That's where you want to begin. Now what's that? What's that? You say you're so spiritually advanced you need not do that? Well, my friend, if you're truly spiritually advanced, then you have the humility not to be threatened with starting with a 3-minute practice. If you do not possess such humility, then perhaps you don't have 20 years of meditation. Perhaps you just have one day's meditation experience repeated a few thousand times. Having said that, come let us perform a 27-minute silent guided meditation. Let's begin with Sutric Anapanasati, or mindfulness with breathing. Please sit erect. Please place your left hand palm up in your lap. Please place your right hand palm up in your left. Thumbs do not touch each other. Remember, there's a separate video on sitting and a separate video on crease counting. How long breath? Releasing. Remember to breathe deeply. How long breath? Releasing. Excuse me. And now we're going to use the one-syllable paradigm. Breath free. Whew. Okay, my friends, now that we've completed the sutric version of the breathing meditation, we're now going to perform a tantric version of the breathing meditation. Some of you may have attended yoga classes, yoga asana, or pose classes. Some of the advanced yoga practitioners may have taken yoga pranayama classes, or breathing meditation, or breathing exercise classes. One of the first pranayamas that they teach is alternate nostril breathing. Now, in Hindu yoga, it's common to alternately close one nostril and the other nostril with your fingers. That's for Hindu yoga. But for Buddhist yoga or Buddhist Tantra, we don't play with our fingers. Oh, I think there's a question. Hey, Mr. Gyatso, but I'm scared I won't do it perfectly. Oh, me from the past. Don't be scared. It's a certitude. You won't do it perfectly. And that's okay. Perfection, the path of perfectionism does not lead to enlightenment. It does not lead to the mastery of spontaneous, habitual, easy, and effective letting go. It leads to the opposite place, a place of uptightness, and fear, and crankiness. Our job is not to do it perfectly. Our job is to do our best, and be aware of where we fall short, and be open to acquiring distinction so that in the future we'll do better and better and better. That's it. Isn't that easier? Doesn't that take the burden off your shoulders? We shall begin with in through left, and on the out breath, out through right. And now reverse. In through right, out through left. If you're perceptive, you'll begin to experience subtle feelings of bliss. Bliss is not a question whether the bliss is there or not. A question is simply whether or not you have the perceptual acuity to be aware of it. If you don't worry. In time you will. Because repetition is the mother of skill. In through both, out through both. And now let's do it for a second set. In through left, out through right. In through right, out through left. In through both, out through both. For our final set, we shall switch to the one-syllable paradigm. Left, right. Right, left. Both. Now let's play with the long rim. We'll begin with renunciation. Last time we worked with body. This time let's work with mind. How mind not satisfy. Why turn from suffering's cause? How karma be quite just? How this chance be precious. What feeling releasing? How could this be funny? Grin with lips, releasing. Noticing, relaxing. This ease. Now let's turn to Tong Len's union, compassionate taking and loving giving. Let's work with the dichotomy, or the opposites of fear and peace. How could each be kind more? Why take fear as black smoke? How are all more than me? Why give peace as white light? In through nose, out through pores. Take fear smoke, give peace light. Fear, peace. Now let's turn our attention to the Buddha's wisdom of letting go. Just as we did with renunciation, let's focus on the mind. Where feel mind releasing? How is mind dependent? How could mind always change? How could mind not be me? How could mind not be mine? How could mind not be grasped? How could mind be funny? Grin with cheek, releasing. Noticing, relaxing. Now it's time for love. How about the love that gives wisdom? How wise, good, releasing. How wise, feel, releasing. Now to me, give wisdom. Now to some, give wisdom. Now to all, give wisdom. Now to each give wisdom. Each wise. Now let's give love. How love good, releasing. Whoops, my mistake. I forgot something. Let's go back a second. Let's do the wisdom practice. This wisdom practice is going to emphasize sensation. Some would say that qualifies as a simplified version of Toglen. I took it back. Trek Cho, which is cutting through, which is a subdivision of Dzogchen. What feeling? Releasing. What feeling? Releasing. Feel free. Feel free. How could this be funny? Grin with eyes, oopsie, let's try this again. Grin with lips, releasing. Noticing, relaxing. this ease. Now, let's give everyone love. I'm sorry, joy. How joy good, releasing. How joy feel, releasing. Now to me, give great joy. Now to some, give great joy. Now to all, give great joy. Now to each, give great joy. Joy. We'll conclude with a wisdom practice that focuses on visual phenomena. When Dzogchen focuses on visual phenomena, we call that Toglen, or leap over. What's seeing, releasing? See, free. How could this be funny? Grin with eyes, releasing. No. Noticing, relaxing. This ease. And that completes this morning's 27 minutes guided meditation. Now, with all my jibber jabber, explanation, and commentary, it might have gone more than 27 minutes. But if we were to just to jot down the contemplative notation, such as how long breath, releasing, and practiced with a stopwatch, you'd find it's approximately 27 minutes in length. Some people get worried that their mind's not calm enough. I assure you, it's more calm after 12 minutes of meditation than it is after one. And it's even more calm after 24 minutes, and even more calm after 27 minutes. Imagine how calm your mind would be after 60 minutes. And I would invite you to join me for a set of gentle geriatric yoga entitled Untying the Heart's Knots. The tantric alternate nostril breathing and came to us from the Kagyu sect. The Dzogchen came to us from the Nyingma sect. The Lama came to us from the Geleg sect, as did untying the heart's knots. Please sit erect and lace your hands behind your tush. Please open your chest and twist to the left. Why give wise? Releasing. Please reverse. Now to each, give wisdom. Back to center. Please release your hands, lace them in the lap, swing them out and overhead. Please bend to the left. Why give peace? Releasing. Please reverse. Now to each, give great peace. Back to center. Let's work our way into downward facing fetal position. This is also known as child's pose. Give to each, love for all. Curl your hands into fists. Place your knuckles just above your knees upon the yoga blanket. And rapidly straighten your arms. Ride the momentum into the seated samurai position, which is also known as lion's pose. Please lace your hands behind your tush. Please drop your head, roll your gaze up. What seeing, really seeing. What hearing, really seeing. What feeling, really seeing. Please release your hands. Please cup your palms, press them together, so that the center of each palm is hovering before the upper third of the chest. Please relax your shoulders down. Your shoulders are lovely joints, but they make terrible earrings. Please press your hands into a left-facing twist. Why give joy? Releasing. Back to center, relax the shoulders down, twist to the right, give to each, now to each give great joy. Back to center. Please lace your hands behind your tush. Please open your chest. Drop your head. Roll your gaze up. How could this be funny? Grin with cheeks releasing. Noticing, relaxing. Please release your hands. And let's assume the cat, let's prepare ourselves with the hands and knees posture in preparation for the cat-cow asana. Open mouth, slack jaw, give to each great comfort. Please stand up. Please place your weight upon the major and minor ball of each foot behind the big and little toe, heels off the ground, subtle bend in the knees, thrust your hips forward, hands laced behind your tush, open chest, drop your head, gaze roll up. How could this be funny? Grin with cheeks releasing. Noticing, relaxing. Okay. This is the point in the practice where we recite the 3 recitations of conclusion that help to protect the good karma we generated, help to invest it in our future growth and the future growth of others, thus multiplying our love, thus multiplying our good karma. You will find these 3 final recitations, 3 closing recitations, when you go to the class materials page and download the free latest version of the PDF entitled First Set of Lesson Texts. Every lesson concludes with these 3 recitations. You recite them twice a day, every day, in no time at all, you will have accidentally memorized them. Let's recite them while performing 2 repetitions of Indian-inspired bows and then 2 more repetitions of Vietnamese-inspired bows. By this virtue may I now accomplish the spontaneous, habitual, easy and effective mastery of Buddha's mental yoga, of wisdom, peace, love, and joy, and now lead every living being without exception to this ground. May everyone be healthy, wealthy, and happy. May everyone practice skillfully and joyfully. May one accomplish Jigme in this life. And then help many others do likewise. For truly that is the meaning of life. Om Mani Padme Hum. And now it's time for the 2 Vietnamese bows. May I always be cared for throughout all my lives by the Buddha of compassion emanating as my kind teacher. And as such may I always enthusiastically and joyfully tread this excellent path praised by the conquerors. Well, my friends, I thank you for your time and your kind attention. I thank you for your support and your enthusiasm to evolve both physically as well as spiritually. May you and yours be healthy and happy. Om Mani Padme Hum. Before you go, I want to remind you to find the subscribe button, give that a click. Then turn your attention down and find the like button, as well as the share button. At the very end of the video, I invite you to find the big old YouTube button, give that a click. It'll take you to your home page. On the left-hand side, if you scroll down, you'll find a tab that reads Manage Subscriptions. Look up either Lama Jigme or Tantric Sex God 1. To the right, you'll notice a box. Use your mouse to check the box. That way, the next time I upload a video, you'll get an email notification. Remember those links I told you about below the video? Well, you could use one of those links to help keep this monk fed, which is lovely, but not necessary. There's another link you could use to register for the next series of live weekly webinars. When do they begin? Tuesday, the 2nd of July. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.